Tonight, place I was going is closed. They were closed 3 days this week, and I had no idea. So I came home, and I figured I'll do this. See over here behind me? Check that out. That's Kai. That's his little design. Throws it all on the floor. He lines everything. That's what he does. He lines things up. So we have here is diapers that he tore out of the package. He lined them all up, nice and neat. And then over there is wipes, pictures of wipes that he lined all nice and neat. And this is Sylvie scratching. Hey, the puppies. Go lay down. Go lay down. So I don't have anyone watching. That's always fun. I did invite with zero notice because this was not scheduled at all. Um, Everything is crooked. It's like the Joker's there or something. My God, how's that? Nope, too low now. Hi. Oh my God, still too low. Now it's too high. Oh no. Damn you, camera. Here's what I figure I am going to do. I am going to eat ice cream while you guys watch. Or there's one person watching. It's probably Peach. I don't know. But I will eat ice cream. This is um, apple crisp ice cream. It's actually pretty good. I like it. It is very autumny though. So I'll have to remember this come autumn. And what else? I don't know. This is good. This would be good with blueberries in it too. It's bothering me. So I invited my friend Joe. Goodbye. Now, see, serious mind. I also invited Michael Clifton, um, to Joe and Mike. I invited Steve Shives, who won't come. He never comes. And I invited Zonstar. For those of you watching, familiar with the YouTube Great Debate community, will know Zonstar. And we'll see if any of them show up. I doubt any of them will, but whatever. I figure it's either I do this or I play Civilizations 5 some more. What I was doing earlier today. I figured I'll do this. See what you guys are up to. See who wants to watch. What I had intended to do, as I was saying before, was to be singing karaoke in a dive bar, but they're closed tonight, so you guys are stuck with me instead of something more fun that you could be watching. I don't know what that is, but oh well, it is what it is. The dog sitting there, all alert. He's a good dog. So there's two of you watching. Hello, two people, whoever you are. I still think one of you is probably Peach. Anyway, eating. Watching me eat ice cream. See, Facebook about over every one. So, To It sound is breaking up, really? I wonder why. Hmm. What could be wrong with it? Maybe I'm sitting too far away. But if I like move closer, then I'm like right by the thing. Of course it did. I think it might be just too far away from the mic. 'Cause I'm kind of have to push my chair back in order to be like, on the screen, like, not extreme close up. Because if I'm like sitting like at a normal distance, it's like extreme close up. So I was eating, I'm finished with it now. Apple crisp ice cream by Tillamook. Oh my God, it is so good. I think I have found my new favorite ice cream. Bet you that would be really good with chocolate syrup too. Oh, I'll have to try it next time. All right. Anyway, and yeah, something weird too with like the screen, like flashes black every, and I don't know why that. That's something new. It did it again. I don't know what's going on there. You need bifocals, and you can't stand the things. Reading glasses, and I refuse to get them. They bother me, but I'm gonna eventually start getting the ones with the chain around my neck so I can like look. Video stopped at a couple of points, but why? I don't understand what's going on here. I mean, I know there was a lag when I was on with Joe the one night. There was a really bad lag. It was me, Michael, and Joe. Um, and it was the wireless. So I plugged it in and it's wired, and the lag dropped. What's up, clock? Wow, long time no see. But the lag had dropped to like almost nothing. But now there's issues with. You had to get reading glasses and you traded the bifocal back in for playing. See, it just went black again. I don't know why it does that. It like flashes. That's new. I think I need a new webcam. That's what I think is the part of the problem is I think I need a new webcam. I think I'm going to do that tonight. I think I'm going to go on Amazon and shop for a new webcam. Um, yeah, I don't know. Well, Phil, sorry about that clock. Um, Killer Clock is one of my oldest or long time followers. Way back in the day. There's a dude. Hear me? Cannot see or hear you. And he left. Oh well. I'm sorry. Wait. Whatever you're seeing as things going black, look on our end like you're stopping, but not going black. It also stops your audio. Okay, and it's only for a second, right, Nadia? It just like a flash. 1.5 seconds or something like that. Yeah. That's weird. I don't know what Dwight's doing that. And Joe, serious mind, is I'm thinking maybe he's trying to get his stuff together and kind of jump back on again. What happened there with him? We will see. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I'm saying it's just for a second, right? It's like a on my end, it's like a flash, but it's black. It just goes black for a second. It's weird. I was supposed to go out tonight. I'm so upset. I'm like, and I look amazing too. Clock in. Wow, you crazy. And I would not be. I, 4 o'clock in the morning. I would not be watching me. Oh no. There are better things in the world than to be watching me at 4 a.m. Hi, Joe.
Hi there. So can you hear the TV in the other room?
No.
Okay, good. Because the Mets game is on, and I didn't want it's the whole it's copyright material. I didn't want to get you screwed up.
Watching the game or
Well, the game is on here with the audio off, and it's in the other room with the audio on.
you
So I
can do you're okay. Look
so
at
I can
you.
hear what's going on. As long as you guys can't, that's good. And it's actually a replay from today, so I actually know the results, but that's okay. So it's Clock. I haven't seen Clock in ages. Killer Clock. Oh man, oh, tired. Oh. So I'm sure you saw. So fucking Trump signed an executive order today. So basically, rolling back, um, like anti-discrimination protection. And it's like, well, so I want to hear all the there and the conservatives are against having that in the first place. I'm like, so you basically telling us you want to be able to discriminate because that's the thing. It's just based on like things that have nothing to do with like if you're renting a house should be based on my behavior, maybe my credit score, not what color my skin is, or what my gender is, or my gender identity, or my sexuality, or my, my anatomical sex. Can't hear.
It's been from the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I think I need a new webcam.
you do. You do.
Like, yeah. Question answered. Um,
What's
you
your
alright?
what's your what in the private chat? Send me your address.
Am I sending you what?
Your address. You've given me
Where
before,
is
but I don't.
the good chat? Ah, what is going on here?
I don't know.
Wow, I was typing and it just closed the window. What the hell?
That's strange.
It was this strange. I'm like, what is going on here? There you go.
Got it.
Do I have an Amazon wish list? Um, my God, I haven't gone on my wish list in forever. I think so, yeah. A good night of sleep for me is about 4 hours. Yeah, I get a little bit more than that. You know? But
I
let's see.
wish.
You wish you had 4 hours? What?
Yeah, it's broken up. It's a man in my 50s have to pee. Inordinate number of times.
Let's see. Let's see. Wish list. Ravens wish list. Is there even anything on here? Oh my God. No, I gotta delete a lot of this. No. No, there's like clothing and stuff on here that I put on my wish list a million years ago.
Hmm.
That I'm looking at it now and going, I would never wear that now.
Hmm. Was it
Oh,
for the
that's cute.
was
I
it
would wear that.
for your old body?
Yeah, no, actually, for this is post transition. It's just my tastes have changed so much.
Hmm.
Oh, and this would be the wrong size. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, there's a pair of shorts on my wish list at this point. I guess I would have to go up to the stuff on. Oh, Nadia, do you want to know something? I actually have two different wish lists. The one that I was just looking at that I deleted a bunch of stuff from, except for a pair of cargo shorts. Um, then I have another one that has graded type stuff on it. Panties and bras and sex toys and all that kind of stuff. And anyway, so I have a large following on one of my, because I have two Facebook accounts. And the one Facebook account is like family and stuff. And the other one is YouTube followers and admirers. We'll put it that way. And I have a lot of men that follow me on that account. And every now and then I post my wish list, and all of these followers that love me so much buy me nothing. So it's like, okay, whatever. It's worth the shot. Hey, you can't blame a girl for trying. But
You cannot. Well, I mean, you can, but why? But
but whatever. It is what it is.
I'm kidding.
What are you doing?
Doing things. What the fuck?
I have no idea. But did you hear me talking about ice cream before?
I did not hear you talking about ice cream before.
I had gotten apple crisp Tillamook ice cream from Acme.
Uh
That
huh.
was my, instead of going out tonight because the place I wanted to go was closed, I went and I
Mm.
picked up a gallon of ice cream, or it's a gallon. It's what is it? 1.5 quarts now is what you get.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but anyway, so that's what I got instead. So, and it was apple crisp. I was like, oh, this is good. It was so good. I am going to have more, I think.
Good stuff, huh?
It was good. It was really good.
Excellent, excellent. Those things being difficult.
Killer Clock, you're shopping for a tomahawk? A tomahawk missile? Steak? Um, I,
Or is he looking to bash heads?
well, tomahawk. The real thing. So, Joe, other than you, I also sent invites to Michael. I know he's got a weird work on stuff. It's hard for to do stuff anymore. I also sent one to Eric. Um, he hit me up and wanted to know if I had a schedule for these kinds of things because he said he would like to join. And I told him no. It's completely at the mercy of my whims. And he said, as it should be. I'm like, right.
Oh,
Um,
you'll have a new camera on Friday.
well, thank you, Joe. You didn't need to do that.
No, but I wanted to.
Thank you.
Kind of guy I am.
Thank you. Was I saying? Oh yeah, Eric. Goof. Um, yeah. So hopefully, I mean, I doubt it was like last minute, but I sent him an invite anyway. Um, yeah, I don't think he probably went to bed.
Hmm. So who
Worth
was
a
the person you
shot.
said that they have their work schedule makes it hard? Because I couldn't hear the name cut out when you said it.
Wait,
Before who? I heard nothing. You gotta get closer to the microphone. When you're sitting back, I don't get anything at all. Still don't get nothing.
John Star.
Ah, no, but before Eric, you mentioned somebody else.
Sent an invite to Michael and Steve Shives and Eric and wait, was there somebody else? I don't know. Let's see. I sent one to you, Steve Shives, Michael, and Eric. That's it.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I was just doing some work and I just finished it up. And I went, oh, look at Facebook. And I say, oh, I see I've got, messenger
Yeah,
messages. And
I wish I had planned this, but
well, that's okay. I mean, most of mine are on a whim too, just like,
yeah,
I
I
got something
was
to say. And a lot of times I'll think about it during the day and then it's nighttime and I'm like, yeah, fuck it. And then other times I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
supposed to be going to sing karaoke tonight. That's my normal Wednesday night thing. But the bar that I go to is closed tonight. So
I wonder why.
they're rearranging their kitchen, supposedly.
Oh, interesting. Oh, excuse
That's
me.
your fact.
Indeed. Yeah, so Suzanne left earlier today. She's on a plane as we speak right now, ultimately to France, but she's going through London, Heathrow. And then from there um, to like the Netherlands, I think. And then from there because she is flying to Rennes, and there's no direct flights to Rennes from anywhere other than like the Netherlands. So she'll be gone for like 15 days.
Control Alt print screen?
To do what? To do what? For screen capture?
Yeah.
Well, either control print screen or alt print screen will work. Either one will work. Alt print screen will gather only from the current application, which is if you want to make sure like you only get the window that's up or whatever. Um, Because my house is here, Nadia, and my company is here, and I'm here, so she's gonna come back to me because otherwise, I mean, if she wants to move to France, she can, but it's kind of a silly question.
The pup sleeping.
Hmm. Well, that's the other too. I got my three. We got our three puppies, and she's not gonna not come back to her puppies. Little puppy.
So,
I forget what's your current puppy's name. It cut out again.
so
Sylvie.
do you, Sylvie, do you know the Loki series on Disney Plus?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
female,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
yeah,
know. I know the female Loki. Yep. I know. Well, that's nice that you have the freedom to do that. I'm not going to leave a house behind or all my stuff, my cars, my dogs. So
yeah,
if you need to go, that makes sense. I understand why you need to go, but that's not a freedom everybody has, or at least not one that a lot of people will choose for a variety of reasons. My livelihood is here, so I'm going to be here.
judge basically blocked the transgender passport ban for 6 people.
Oh,
Right, the
so it's a very
ruling.
narrow ruling,
It's it, yeah, for those 6 people that were part of the lawsuit or the case or whatever. Um,
which means everybody else still has to fight for themselves.
yeah, yeah. Um, but I'm hoping it's enough of a foot in the door that maybe I can send my paperwork in.
Hmm. It's worth a shot.
So that's something Peach and I we're gonna get on top of. And wow, there's 12 people viewing. I never have that many people viewing anymore.
Very cool.
Do you remember when it used to be hundreds of people?
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Well, especially on Blog TV, man. I missed the Blog. It was never better than a Blog TV. That never will be better than Blog TV.
Yeah, true. And I didn't even have these back then.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, I mean, the thing is, Nadia, living in New Jersey, I mean, as much as bad as things are going on here, we're somewhat insulated here. And again, I don't have the issue of being transgender, so there's fewer things that I've got to worry about, although there's still plenty. Um, but yeah, we've got the we're in a state that has a much more progressive take on pretty much everything. So, um, we're some at least somewhat insulated. I mean, it's not going to stop ICE from rounding up citizens, which is done already several times. That's the thing that gets me. Well, especially those two German girls. They deported the two German girls, and people were trying to blame the state of Hawaii. I'm like, no, that was ICE, you idiots. Hawaii doesn't discriminate. It's probably one of the least discriminatory places I've ever been, at least in the U.S. anyway. But it was ICE, and like, why they're Germans, like they're white. You would think they'd be like, come on in. New York City, yeah, Manhattan's very liberal. In New Jersey, it gets depends. Well, I'm in Union County. Union and Middlesex County are largely pretty liberal, but I mean, overall, as a state, though, the state laws are pretty liberal. Now, where Raven lives, that's another matter. That's fucking, Pennsylvania.
Same state though. So I said it's New Jersey, but it's
Well, the thing
Trump country.
that's the local company. That's like the locals and the local government, but the state, you're still
Yeah,
protected by the state government.
it's Trump country. Um, I so here's like the thing. So the bar that I was supposed to be going to tonight that's closed.
Mhm.
I had posted on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, asking for queers to come join me at this bar.
Mm.
And one of the people that I know locally in my town is another trans woman. Her wife had said that they will never go there. And she said, you'll never get LGBT people to show up to that place
Mm.
because they're not LGBT friendly. Now, I've been going there for like a couple of months. I have no issues
Mm.
there. And it's just like, that's what I told him. I haven't had an issue. Um, I mean, I don't know what happened with
Mm.
them at the place. I don't have any history about any, of things happening to anybody. But they're just saying that somebody went there and they were given a hard time.
Mm.
I go there every Wednesday. Um, and nobody says shit. I sing karaoke,
Mm.
I talk to the bartender, the regular. Actually, at this point now for Wednesday night, I am one of the regulars.
Mm.
When I walk in, they're waiting for me. They save a seat for me. I'm like Norm.
Oh, cool.
Uh, yeah. And it's like I don't get it, and part of me feels bad. It's like, should I frequenting this if they've got a history, or at least there's an accusation of them mistreating somebody? But then also, they know I'm trans.
Right,
Like, it's
right.
a conversation I've had, and nobody gives me a hard time. I will say though that the bartender that does the karaoke, he runs the karaoke. Every time I give him my slip with my song name and stuff, he takes it and he says, "Hey, thanks, buddy." And buddy is just such a male term. It kind of irks me. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't believe it's coming from a negative place. I don't believe I don't think he realizes it.
Mm. Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
it's interesting too. I mean, I think I told you about when I was living in Allentown, PA, and I went out for the evening and I came home and stopped at, like, I forget if it was Denny's or whatever the hell it is. And when I ended up, like, striking up a conversation with a woman that was there, young woman that was there, and she kept using the word colored, and I could tell the way she used it that she meant to her, because she lived in, like, Podunk, Pennsylvania. And so I knew for her that was just a common word, and not even necessarily it didn't seem to have any negative connotation in how she was using it. So I didn't say anything to her because, like, I just met her, and I knew that she wasn't intending to be offensive. So I was like, I'll just let it slide. If I ever got to know her, I probably would have said, you probably should move away from that word. But um, yeah, actually, we hit it off really well, and she could see me. So, um, but yeah, I should have got her number. I don't know. I was too timid back then.
Tiny dinosaur. I don't know if you heard, but I gave a review of the ice cream before. It's fan fucking tastic, and thank you for helping pick it out. Tiny Dinosaur, Small Dino Land USA. She actually works. She's actually a coworker of mine, but she also works at the store where I bought the ice cream.
Oh, okay,
She,
cool.
she walked with me over to the ice cream freezer to pick it out.
Tiny
Um,
dino.
it's really good. So, yeah, yeah. We call her Tiny Dinosaur at work.
Aw, that's sweet.
So locally, okay, so we have a teacher in the high school where I work, who
Mm,
is trans. And I know her. I knew her from before she transitioned.
mm,
And when I had my deli, she used to come into the deli all the time, and we would talk for like about politics and history and stuff, and we would talk for like an hour or more.
mm,
And she was engaged to a woman at the time, and that ended up splitting up, and she went into a bad place. And then I
mm.
didn't see her anymore because the deli closed. And then one day I saw her at a pride parade, and she was a she. And I was just like, oh my god! And at the time, I had, well, Joe, I've had boobs, nothing like this, but I've
Right.
had boobs for almost 2 decades.
Mm.
Again, like nothing like this, but they were there. They were still there. They were unmistakable.
I
Um,
saw them.
so a lot of people did. I used to take my shirt off on stream way back then. I can't do that anymore.
Right, right. And which is so crazy. It's like, well, before when they would have said, "Oh, well, you were male," then they were like perfectly fine with it. And then, once you're female, like, once they
Yeah.
recognize you as female, then, oh no, my
Yep.
God, it's the end of the world.
So yeah, I did that. I took my top off on a Blog TV stream. No, it was Vaughn.
Oh, really?
But I took it off on Blog TV too. I did
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of stuff on Blog TV. I got in trouble for, and they kept like canceling my account, and I would start a new one, and they
Mm.
were actually saving screenshots from all of the stuff that I did on every single channel. And then one day when I questioned them about why they were canceling my channel, they sent me an email with all these different screenshots that were like over the course of like a year from like 4 or 5 different channels. And
Oh,
they're like,
wow.
this is why.
Well, what gets me about that is like, what think what's funny is like, how did they even know? How did
I
they
don't
find
know.
out?
I think because I remember I used to get hundreds of viewers. I was a pretty big channel back then. Not like I got 8 people watching now, and that's a big deal these days. That would have been a disappointment back then. I would have like jumped out a
Mm.
window or something if that's all I had back then. But so I mean, so they kept a close eye on me, I guess. And then when I switched over to Vaughn, I took my top off and they shut me down. And when I asked them what was up, and they said you can't take your top off, and I said yeah, but I'm a guy, and they reinstated my
Mm.
channel. I can't do that now.
So I guess if they would have cut me off because I got moves,
Yeah. So if I drew that now, I can't be like, oh, but I'm a guy.
it's not going to work anymore, girly girl.
So it was funny. You know what? Use the loopholes while you can. That's what I say. If there's a
Well,
loophole,
I'll
take
tell you
advantage
what.
of that shit.
Well, like when I was younger, like I had I could have gotten to Rutgers for free. I got a scholarship. It was an academic scholarship. It was a minority academic scholarship. So you had to be a minority, but you had to have the grades as well.
Right.
And I didn't take it because I never wanted somebody to be able to say, well, you only got what you got because of whatever, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, fuck yeah. So now I'm like, so now my business is registered, minority owned business. I'm taking all that shit. Because I've learned is like, well, you know what, that the system, things are so imbalanced. This is what I tried to explain to Autumn back in the day was because she was like, oh, the whole reverse discrimination crap. And I'm like, no, look, like, do you recognize? I got her to recognize that, yes, there's bias in housing, hiring, the whole shebang. I'm like, okay, Autumn, that's with affirmative action. So that means when we make a conscious effort to be less biased, we're still fucking biased. So just imagine what it would be like if we didn't consciously try to avoid the bias. And like, because it's not just, well, you're brown, so you get the job. It's you have to be as qualified as the person that they pass over and be brown. And even then, there's still bias in the system. So if it wasn't, if we didn't have the anti-bias built into the system, it would be way worse than it is. And of course, that's how white supremacy works, right? You basically limit the opportunity for people to achieve, and then you say, well, see, because that's why we don't hire them, because they're poor and they're broke and they don't have anything and they can't succeed and they can't graduate. Like, well, yeah, if you take away every single thing that would give us an opportunity, take away our education, take away our job prospects, take away our ability to get a house in a decent neighborhood, of course we'll fail. It's like, that's what redlining was all. That was creating ghettos. And then it's like, hey, these people we stuck in substandard housing aren't doing so well. No shit. Imagine that. It's kind of like, it's kind of the ultimate trading places. And it's what's funny is all these racists, they all probably seen trading places, they all probably love it, and they don't get it.
Many how many bigots are huge Star Wars fans who actually root for the rebellion,
Mm, yeah.
right? But today, they're Trump voters, and it's just like So
the people,
when it comes to movies, you understand. In real life, you don't get it. I don't
or like
understand.
or like the people who think Star Trek went woke recently. I'm like, you haven't been
Yeah,
paying
yeah.
attention to Star Trek for like the last 60 years, have you?
I had no idea that tomahawks were expensive. But then again, I never had a reason to check. So there you go.
True.
You know, it's everything is relative.
Yeah.
It's relative. Especially if
Or,
you're in
or
Mississippi.
under or under nepotism, everything is relatives.
Yeah, it's kind of going the same place. Yeah. And you might be traded places with. Uh, you didn't see
Dan
that movie?
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, that's right.
Holy shit! I was just looking Baskin Robbins, a milk because we're talking about ice cream now. I really want ice cream,
Um,
and a single scoop's $5. A milkshake is $10.
but then I was looking at pints of ice cream when with Tiny Dinosaur. I was looking at pints of ice cream because I didn't want to get a whole big thing of ice cream, right? I'm just wanted to, feed my disappointment for not being able to do karaoke.
Hmm.
That's all. Nothing major. And we were looking at the pints, and I said to her, I'm like, why are they so fucking expensive? Why is it just I don't know how. I want to get the Ninja ice cream maker though.
Hmm.
That would be cool. Anyway, so I'm like, why is it like $5.50 or whatever is for a pint of fucking ice cream? And then we saw one, it was $10 for a fucking pint of ice cream. I said, did that like eat itself for you? I mean, I don't $10.
That's funny.
She's like, I just scan them. I don't make the prices. But I I didn't mean for you to answer the question. I mean, I figured you would commiserate with me and look at it and yeah, you're right. That's fucking ridiculous. So
Yeah, I got a bad
unbelievable.
headache tonight, man. I don't know why.
You have, and
Yeah,
you came on here to listen to me?
yeah. Well, I have a glutton for punishment. Well, one thing that's good, even though my head hurts, um, I was kind of stuck in a rut on the weight loss. I kept bouncing around between like 466 and 471. But today I finally weighed myself again, and I actually came up as 462.8.
You're
So I finally broke out of that.
at a plateau.
Yeah, so I broke the plateau finally.
Every now and then you're going to find that. Like I have been at 223 pounds
Hmm.
for, I don't know, about a year. It's a plateau, man.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
um, I've actually not been really good. I hit over the winter. I hit 230. So I said, yeah, screw this. I got to do something about it. And I got down to 221. And then my birthday came, and my
Hmm.
coworkers, who I love all of them to death. I love them all equally. Um, I swear I do. Anyway, they bought me a birthday cake, a
Hmm.
big bag full of candy, and yeah, there went my diet straight into the toilet. And I haven't been able
Oh,
to get back
eventually,
on
yes.
track since. What?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, but she's like, that's me. Um, but yeah, so that diet went into it, and it's fine. I didn't really gain a whole lot. Like I said, I weighed myself earlier. I was like 3. Um, and yeah, it was a pancake. A pancake. No, the cake had a sexual flag colors on it. So yeah, it was cute.
That's a pancake. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
They had no idea. They had no idea. Well, Dino, she knew. Um,
I've got Nadia said she needs to lose 30 to 35 kilograms. I need to lose 91 kilograms.
I need to lose about 50. I don't need to lose any. I need to lose about 50. I
Well, that's
mean,
100.
technically, I'm in unhealthy. Huh?
That's 110 pounds. That's 110 pounds.
50 pounds.
Well, that's well in kilogram. That have to be like 21
Yeah,
or 20.
I don't have the. I'm not doing them. I'm out of thyroid meds, so I'm probably blowing up like a blimp. Oh, my mom was on those. She actually drank. She had like an overactive thyroid, and
Hmm.
so she drank like the radium to kill it, and apparently it didn't kill it.
Hmm.
It only made it stronger.
Oh, gee. Yeah, I figure if I can get down to like 260, 270 range, because my lightest as an adult was 315. But if I can get down to like 270, somewhere between 260, 275, I'll look good. 'Cause I'm, me to me, I'm tall and I'm very broad across the shoulders. So, and especially if I work out, I'll be like a fucking tank.
An adult was 135. I know I am never going to see that again.
Hmm.
I'm okay with that. Um, and even if I could get again, I'm not going to be. I would never be that like these weigh something. There's weight to these.
Hmm.
So it's even
Oh, yeah,
still,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I figure if I can get to 160,
Hmm. Yeah,
I
because
think that would be yeah,
yeah,
I
that'd
would
be
be good with
good.
that. I
That'd
would
be
think I would be more than happy with that. If I got down to 180, I'd be happy with that.
hmm. I hear you.
But
Well, see, my immediate goal is to get down to about 435. And the reason why I'm saying that is that right now the scale that I use, it it's I always take three measurements because when I step on every time I step on the scale, I get a slightly different reading. And what I do is I do it three times and take the middle value. Because it's basically designed for like up to 700 pounds. Because basically it's like a big jump. It goes from up to 440 pounds or 200 kilograms or 700 pounds. It's a big gap. And so as I'm losing weight, it's becoming less and less accurate, um, and not so reproducible. Once I get below 440, then I can get a 200 kilogram scale, and then that will be more but better for me. Should be more consistent.
absolutely, the difference is absolutely noticeable.
Mm,
So you have clearly lost weight. You look good.
thank you.
So
Yeah, I found there's a picture of me actually on my Facebook of me and my friend Monica when she graduated because she was on a 5-year plan and she had to go an extra semester. So um, I was on a 4-year plan, but because of a stupid humanities class, I graduated after 5 years, and she ended up graduating like one semester later. And there's a picture of her in her cap and gown and me, and that's when I weighed about between 315, 320 up at the school. And I'll have to tag you on that picture so you can see what I looked like back then. Because you'll be surprised.
you see, when I was in my gay vampire phase, you saw those pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty thin there, probably about 145 pounds.
Hmm.
So 145, 150 in that range. I was pretty thin. I was
Okay.
that was when I started to put weight on.
Okay. I found it. I'm going to. I was dropping in private chat,
Oh, okay.
and I'll tag you too as well.
Wow, look at you, and
Yeah.
so young.
Yeah. Yeah. I was, I don't know, 21, 22 in that picture. Probably 22. It's funny though when I run into people who know me from back then and they see me, they're like, "Yeah, man, you didn't age," and they're all like, they've all aged. So I'm like, yeah, if it wasn't for the gray mustache. Little bits, but not the whole words. Nope.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, now I heard you.
I said black don't crack. That's what Pete says all the time. Black don't crack.
She's right. She's right. And hell, she keeps getting better. Forget not cracking. She's been improving as she gets older.
Yeah, Peach is amazing.
Because I went back and looked, like, after the last time I saw her, I saw her picture, and then I like went back and looked at her videos from way back when, and I'm like, fuck, how'd this woman get more beautiful? I don't fucking understand that. Everybody else age, and she's just like just becoming this radiant, being. Mm. Man. Yeah, it feels like somebody is driving an ice pick right here in the back of my head. Yeah, not that it's ever happened to me before for comparison, but it just how I imagine an ice pick would feel if it was jammed into my head.
I was gonna say, how would you know?
I'm good at extrapolating.
So there's two kinds of people in the world. Those who can extrapolate from a small amount of information. Yeah, right?
Hmm. And everybody else. Hmm.
We had like, yeah, and exactly the tiny dinosaur. Mm. We had a whole bunch of viewers and now they're all gone.
Hmm.
I guess I am boring. Sorry, I am like looking at some only one. Yeah, it's just like looking forward to doing karaoke tonight. I was so heartbroken.
Hmm.
I don't get out a lot.
Hmm. Me either, really. I mean,
I don't get out a lot. So it's like when I have an opportunity, I take it. And then I mean, I spent an hour out there in the world thinking about what to do. Should I like, should I get ice cream and go home? Should I find another place to go? I don't want to go someplace else alone.
hmm.
Not around here anyway.
Right, right.
When I sit back, I break up for you. When I sit back, can you hear me okay, Joe?
I hear you right now.
Right now. Okay, so weird.
It's
The
weird.
it's got to be the mic in the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got to be. Like, what else could it be? I don't know.
Well, hopefully on Friday you will be in better shape.
We'll find out.
Audio wise, anyway.
I might have to stream on Friday night just to make sure.
Right, right.
Oh, so it's the day after tomorrow, actually. It's not too
Yeah,
bad.
yep. Yep.
You could do a virtual karaoke. We used to do that. Who was that? Lisa. Lisa Fight.
Hmm.
Lisa we used to do karaoke with her.
Hmm.
And she could sing, so it was good. I can't,
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
it's not fun.
Well, see, for me, the tough part for me when it comes to singing, I actually sang in Glee Club in college, but the problem I have is I'm a bass. At best I can do baritone, and most rocks, the music I like, most of the singers are tenors, and so I either have to really stretch and I sound like shit, or I sing it an octave lower and they don't get the same tonal quality, and so it just doesn't sound right. I mean, I'll hit the notes right, but it just won't sound, you know.
You know, me to go see.
It's all muffled.
Joe, did you hear me?
No.
Her mic is like clown porn. It's fucking funny. I bore people too. People talked about dreaming about elephants, and I went on about how okay. Is karaoke supposed to sound good? No, I don't know if it's supposed to anything.
I
Some
think
people
well, I think
sound
it's kind of like the excuse to like, hey, everyone likes to sing even if they're sucky at it. So it's the opportunity to go out there and be sucky and still. It's kind of like dance like no one's watching or sing like no one's listening.
so at the school Thursdays in the musical theater class, which one of the students that I am an aide for goes to that class, so I have to go with them. So on Thursdays they do karaoke,
Hmm.
and it's for students. We've gotten small Dino Land USA to sing karaoke one day. We've gotten the music teacher to sing. She has an amazing voice. Well, Small Dino Land here has actually a pretty good voice too. Um, and one day they got me to do it. And I did Ice Ice Baby.
Huh.
And my friend, yeah, to answer your question, Joe, yeah. Um, so my friend who was in the class with me, um, my other friend, not just Small Dino, but my other friend was in there and she was shocked. She said to me as we were leaving, "You knew every word." I was like, "It's Ice Ice Baby. Everybody knows every word, don't they?"
I like what Klotz says. Karaoke sounds like drinking but loud.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Well, it's like the every time somebody brings up Waffle House, I'm like, Waffle House tastes like failure and sadness. And somebody said to me recently, well, you just haven't been in the right Waffle House. I'm like, I've been in 4 of those motherfuckers, and it didn't get any better from one to the other. So I have zero confidence that there's some Waffle House out there that's gonna maybe go, oh wow, the scales have fallen from my eyes, and now I love Waffle House.
It's not supposed to sound good or bad. It's supposed to be fun. So,
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, it was the Japanese salary men who would like after working like a crazy hour days, 12-hour days of work, they'd go out there and drink and sing just to like blow off steam because they would
yeah.
otherwise they'd commit suicide just from the fucking stress.
So when I meet new people, and I sing like an idiot, and have some food and a couple of drinks, and hopefully, some guy will buy me a drink. That way, I'm not buying it myself. Some old guy last week actually bought me a drink.
Yeah, yeah, you're saying that's cool.
Yeah, it was funny. I was at the bar and waiting for him to start the karaoke and stuff, and he shouts across the bar over to me, "Will you be partaking in an adult beverage?" And I mean, he was like 90, and it was just like, maybe. No, I was just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to order yet. And he said, whatever you order, it's on me. And I said, well, let's just pull out the menu then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had what's funny, you said before about not knowing what to do when you go out. See, it's funny, like Suzanne goes to bed early, so she's in bed like 7 o'clock. She doesn't go to sleep, but she watches TV or reads or whatever. So I could go out whenever I want. I just kind of don't when she's home. Um, and but then it's hard because the dogs are here and because they're missing her. Like tonight, I decided I wasn't going to go out for dinner. I just called in because I didn't have anything taken out to cook. But they've been like thrutchy, like they're just finally settled down because when she leaves, they're like, "Mommy, what do we do? What do we do?" Whole routine screwed up. They're creatures of habit. You were the dog person. You know how they are, and so they were just like beside themselves. When I had to go to work for a little while, I go in the office, and when um when I came home, they were like, "Oh, Daddy, you're home. You're home. We didn't think you were gonna come home. Mommy's not here. We don't know what to do." Yeah, especially Lily. I mean, she was beside herself. I'm surprised she didn't pee. Like when she was younger, every time she got super excited, she would like pee. If her bladder wasn't empty, it came out. But you know, and
Time. Then I
what's
should
that?
go out. Peach tells me all the time that I should go. And she's like, go out, go out, go out, go out. And I always feel guilty.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you feel.
And it's just like, no, I'm okay. I just, I'm gonna, she's here with the kids and I know how they are.
Right.
So I'm like, I got this one night. I'll do this one night.
That's
And then Thursday nights, I haven't done it in a while. I haven't done it since before surgery. But now that I'm like all healed up and I'm good, I should I should go back to doing it. I do it's like a dance class. It's
Hmm.
almost like a jazzercise kind of a thing.
Okay.
Um, so that's on Thursday nights, and it's $10 to go. I'm like, I should do that. Like I said, I was doing it before surgery. I stopped because of surgery, and then I just got too lazy to do it to go
Mm.
back. But since I am getting more serious about dropping the weight again, well, I'm way too late. I wanted to do it for summer. I'm not going to make it by summer, but I can still drop a pretty decent amount by then.
Well, I figured out I've got to lose about 8 pounds a month if I'm going to meet because I want to get below 400 by the end of the year. So I've got to lose about 8 pounds a month, which isn't too bad. I
That's
should be.
doable.
Yeah, it
That's
should be.
doable.
$12
Yeah.
charge to your bill.
Yeah.
Oh, for the beer. Beer.
I mean, yes, it's a lot cheaper to drink at home. It's just a lot less fun.
Fuck yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like, because when I get stressed, Suzanne's like, "You should drink. You should have a beer." She's like, "Telling you should drink more." It's like, that's when your wives are like, "You should drink more."
Typically, it's like one or two. So it's not like I'm getting drunk.
Hmm.
Depending on what the drink is, maybe I'll feel a little bit of a buzz.
Yeah. Well, especially since you're out by yourself, so you drive and you don't want to get
Right,
hammered.
exactly. Maybe just enough to relax a little bit and have a good time, and like I said, and just sing and be goofy with the people that I'm there with. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. Um, it's not like back in the day, I'd be looking to go home with somebody. Those days are over.
Hmm.
But go have a good time, just relax.
It was funny. Suzanne was teasing me. She said when she comes back, make sure to get all the floozies out.
All the floozies. That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Nah, just I'm here. We'll say I work with special needs kids.
Mm,
Um, So I am dealing with that all day. And
mm,
I mean, it's not like it's a hard job. In a lot of ways, it's stressful in ways I don't think some people really
mm,
appreciate. Um, and then there's personalities with the other adults. Um, I try to get along with most people, but there's a lot of like gossip and there's like coffee clutches and all that kind of thing. And it's just fucking nonsense. A lot of it really is nonsense. But I mean, I leave that at work and I come home to two special needs kids. Um, and, dealing with that until they go to sleep. And then even after They go to sleep because they wake up. Damon, anyway, he wakes up in the middle of the night, sometimes a couple of times in the middle of the night.
Mm.
And then he climbs into bed with me and Peach and then pees on us because, of course, he does. So, one night a week, just to get away from all of that, it's beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You have a lot of personality. This one thought I was talking about her, talking smack about him. And she comes up to me. She approaches me in the hallway, and she says, "You really are a woman." And I thought it was a compliment at first. And I'm like, "Oh, wow, thank you. What's going on? What's
Yeah.
up?" You know? And she's like, "Uh-huh." And I'm like, "Wait, what? What happened?" No idea.
That's funny. So have I interacted with Small on Facebook?
So,
I didn't hear any of that. Still don't hear it.
said she's good people.
I believe that.
Yeah, she's good people. Though I work with two, three, four other women. Right, there's Al, there's Dino, there's Veracity, and then there's the old lady. I'm not missing anybody, right? Nope, that's it. So we are the ladies of, we'll call it in Bimbo Island, for lack of a better name.
That's cool.
Um,
Well,
anyway,
hopefully I'll make Dino's acquaintance at some point because I like good people.
yeah, she's good people. So it's us ladies. We're all aides, and we all work together, and we mostly get along. Mostly, so
Mostly.
mostly. Well, of the group, there's two that I'm the closest with,
Hmm.
Dino and my other friend Elle.
Hmm.
Um,
You didn't catch my reference.
no,
The way I said mostly
I still don't get it. What am I missing?
aliens. They mostly come at night. Mostly.
Yes.
It's funny, Philip. So when he and I first met in person, we met at some pub in Manhattan, and we knew each other from like I got to know him through his YouTube page, and I used to comment a lot, and we got along, and we had messages, and eventually, I stopped over to see him, and what was funny is like we were just throwing out. I don't even know how it started. One of us said like a TV reference or a movie reference, and the other person just came back with another, and we just kept going on for like, yes, we will be friends. Dino, quite cool, cool.
She caught it. But she and I, we found out we actually we share um, some fandoms. She is a Dexter fan,
Cool, cool.
which is cool, and a Daredevil fan.
A what?
Daredevil,
Oh, Daredevil. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Devil
Yeah,
of Hell's Kitchen.
I've only seen a few episodes of the original series because I watched the new series, and so then I've gone back now and I'm starting to watch through the original series. I got through like 3 or 4 episodes of the first season, but yeah, the new season is fucking phenomenal.
Oh, keep watching the Netflix. The Netflix, it's fantastic. Um, and what I like about the new stuff is that it picks up where the old one, a couple years later, but picks up where the old one left off, which
Right.
was good. Um, they really stayed true to the Netflix show.
Mm.
They did a really good job with it.
Yeah, the other thing too I like
So
about the
good.
new show is like at least and granted I know the original show they're trying to establish certain things. So there's a lot of there's like a fight in every episode, at least one fight in every episode. What I like in the new show is like there's a lot of like there's not every episode has a fight. Some have two or three fights, but one it's kind of so there's like because like really you have like three episodes that are kind of like courtroom drama, and I like that. It's very cerebral
So
and hits on a lot of levels.
Civil War, Captain America Civil War.
Hmm.
There is the scene where Bucky and Steve are going down the stairs
Hmm.
and they're fighting all the way down, and it's one continuous shot.
Hmm.
They got that. That was lifted right out of Daredevil. The Netflix series there's a fight scene where it's downstairs and down a
Okay.
hallway and everything, and it's one continuous shot.
Oh,
It's
nice, nice,
absolutely fucking amazing. One of the best fight scenes ever recorded. It's just absolutely amazing.
nice,
And when
nice.
I was watching Civil War, I was just like, I've seen this before.
Hmm.
It's like it's almost move for move, just like right out of Daredevil because it just works so well.
Nice, nice.
Of all of the Marvel series that ever existed, Daredevil is really the best one they've done. It is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Well, and what I love about it too is like obviously Marvel did this one, and like the people that are out saying, "Oh, Marvel's lost it, they can't do it." Like obviously they can. Well, the thing is like when it makes me
Disney
really
revamped a lot of stuff. They redid all of Disney Plus. They all their old rules went out the window, just so they could show Daredevil and bring Marvel to its under its umbrella, I guess,
Hmm.
in the way that it deserves.
Right,
Um,
right.
really
Well,
impressed by how Disney handled it.
it makes me feel like something I said, because obviously the Eternals wasn't a great movie. Um, and I think that Eternals would have been much better as like a three-part or maybe even a six-part series. Like a one-off show. I think it would have been much better because you have all these characters and you really have no time to develop them at all. So no one. So that's a part of the problem is you don't care about anybody because you don't know who the fuck they are.
Supposed to be a whole bunch of movies and possibly even series that sprung off of the Eternals. Like they set up a bunch of stuff, and that was really what the movie. All the movie, it was like exposition. Like all it really was to set up for other stuff that was coming.
Right.
The movie bombed,
Right.
and all the stuff that was supposed to be connected to it that came off of it, it was all canceled.
Right.
So there are all of these like new like arms of the Marvel universe that just disappeared.
Yeah. Which is a real
It
shame. Like
just
I said,
gone.
if they had done a series, they could have used that as a launching point for those other things.
What's his name? Kit Harington,
Yeah.
who played Jon Snow. He was supposed to have a movie,
Right.
and that's gone.
Yeah.
That's just gone. Um,
The thing this is what gets me about studios though. Like, okay, this movie flopped. So just because this movie flopped, because I mean he was barely in it, right? So just because the movie flopped doesn't mean you have to throw away that character or throw away that series or movie, whatever they were going to do. Um,
stuff. Just because that movie flopped doesn't mean that everything that it set up would have.
right.
Like I said, the movie was more exposition than it was anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they tried to do too much and they didn't do enough. That's somehow, you know what I mean? It's weird. It's like you tried to do too much and then you didn't do enough because you just, nothing was coherent and nothing was really like so much hotness out the window.
So much hotness right out the window.
But I'm not there.
I don't think she means Kit Harington.
Oh well, yeah. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, no, I've never been hot, so even in that picture from college, it's my lot in life. Well, I haven't boycotted TV. There's not a lot of network stuff that I watch because most network stuff is garbage. But like Babylon 5 was a great series. Deep Space Nine was a great series. Could do without Voyager. Enterprise was good for a while. Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
That's because I don't want you to. Wait a
Oh,
second. No, not that. Hang on a sec.
I'm hearing.
Audio, audio, audio.
I hear you.
Reduce mic background noise. Oh, it's not letting me do that.
Oh,
Wow, that's weird.
that
How
is
about
weird.
this? Is this better?
I hear you.
I made myself louder.
Yeah, well, that's good. Maybe that'll hold. That'd be good.
Well,
Oh,
what was I saying?
oh, now you hear you.
See, I don't know. Um, I said Enterprise was good. I loved it.
The thing is, well, like I lost interest in it like the last season. The other thing too, like I liked it overall. I thought it was a pretty good series. But the whole Zindi bullshit time war stuff, I'm so sick to death of time travel and time wars. I mean, Endgame
The
notwithstanding, but
recreation of
it's sorry, couldn't hear you again. Oh, oh, you cut in for a second and then back out again.
of Star Trek has had a time travel component to the show.
Right, but that's the thing. It's like overdone, and like the other thing too that I'm also sick of is the alternate universe, the mirror universe.
Um,
Because they just
and
did
all of
it.
that.
Yeah, they did it to death in Deep Space Nine. That's one of the few things about Deep Space Nine I didn't like. I didn't like the over dependence. There was like 7 episodes of Mirror Universe, and I also didn't like the whole Bajoran religion thing. I just thought it was, like we can go to space, but we still believe ridiculous shit.
Issues for 20 years because I used to scream at people on the mic, and
Probably broke the mic.
I would scream so loud that the mic would make popping noises. I broke a lot of cameras like that. It's been a long time since I've done that.
Been a long time since I broke a mic.
That didn't look good. I gotta not do that.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah.
Time since I've done that.
Yeah, I'll bet. I think I know that. I think I remember the date. What, 2 years ago? Well, I think I'm gonna go lay down because my head is broken. But it's been fun. It would be even more fun if I didn't have a terrible headache. Um, and I think it'll be even much more fun once you have a working mic, so you don't keep cutting out all the time.
This chair sucks. Um, when I sit like back in it, I'm too far away from the. If I move the chair up, then I'm too close to the camera, and it's just like it's extreme close up.
Well, it looks like you're doing like strike a pose. You're voguing.
Should have bought you a new mic instead of the gay cake. I did love the gay cake. Their tiny dinosaur.
Nothing wrong with gay cake.
Nothing wrong with it. Thank you so much for it, by the way. I had no idea. I am normally very good at knowing when there's something going on, when things are afoot. I had no idea. I was completely surprised by it. They caught me completely off guard. It was fantastic. I
Speaking of
was
gay,
I
sorry, go
was
ahead.
overjoyed.
I was gonna say, speaking of gay cake, did you see the comment I left on Prof's post? What was
Wait,
about?
well,
There was this one where it's like some of these incel TFL, I don't know, MGTOW, whatever the fuck this person was, obviously maggot, but basically they're saying like that somehow like guys who eat pussy become feminized because there's something in the vaginal juices, and basically equating like, so if you go down on a woman you're gay, and I'm like, well, eating pussy makes you gay, and slap my ass and call me girly. I don't give a fuck. I'll be the gayest guy eating every woman out I can, you know. So, I didn't catch any of
don't
that.
get it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I don't get it. It's like, and that's what really to me demonstrates that they really do hate women. They really do. Because you
They
think if
do.
they were,
It's why it is such a crime for men to be gay or trans women. It's such a crime to them because they can't understand why somebody would want to downgrade themselves like that.
right, to be
That's
feminized.
that's what that's the issue. That's what they see.
Yeah, but it was just like, and so somebody in the in that not in the thread, but in the image that was being shared in that thread, someone said, someone put it, well, what about men that are born vaginally? Does that affect them? And it was like, you know,
Right?
like Jesus Christ, like, are
It's
you
so
so
bizarre.
you hate women so much, and you're so afraid of them and everything about them, and you misunderstand them, you don't understand, like they, you know, I said to my latest insult to these fuckers when they come up and they say, especially when they say stuff about female anatomy, about the sexual anatomy, and it's like, I'm like, tell me you've never been within sniffing distance of a vulva without telling me. You know, there's about like meat curtains and roast beef and all this stuff. What the? I've seen a lot of women, and none of them look like, and older, younger. You know, always legal, of course, but
T-shirts that I want to make and sell that are going to be targeted at trans women.
not
I want
included.
them to say,
Oh,
"I found it." I think that would be good.
that's cool. That's cool. So I'm like, yeah, just call me Clitorari.
uh,
You know, it's like, but it's like, yeah, that to be so ignorant of it's like, and yet they try to talk like you're tough and all and banging all these. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And if you are, you've never made a woman happy in your life because you've never hit her in any of the spots that actually work. Um, Probably not for very long in the first, yeah, either. And I'm like, you know, or my favorite. I said this in another thread. I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago. Somebody told me, he called me, you know, he called me a cuck, you know, beta, whatever, and said, you guys are only nice to women so you can get sex. I'm like, okay, let's break that down, shall we? So you're saying that we betas are getting sex, but you alphas are not. Okay, you don't know what the fuck alpha means, okay? I mean, it's not a real thing, but if it were, that's not it. The alpha is the one that gets, you know, that's, you know, is the one that gets the females, or most of the females in the pack or the tribe or whatever the fuck the unit of animal that it is. Not so if we're getting them, then that would make us the alphas, because it's not about beating people up. It's about, the whole thing about like spreading your genes and everything. It's like being sexually desirable. Oh, it's a total myth, small, but it's like, even if it was a real thing, they're still wrong.
I can't remember his name. His Facebook. I guess he's on TikTok also. The guy is awesome. It's something professor, English professor, something. And anyway, he does stitches where like he replies to, like to a video. He's fantastic. Dude's amazing. Paints his nails and talks about that. Uh, he's like always talking about like toxic masculinity and stuff. He's fantastic. Well, he did a stitch for this one video, and the guy was saying, "Real men have skid marks," and he's like, "No, no, no, they don't."
Right? They bathe and they have clean and they wash their ass.
You watch it. He was like, wash your ass, or change your diet, or something. You more fiber,
Hell, wipe your ass, right?
something. And it was hilarious. He was just like really close to the camera. He does this stuff is all close to the camera. And he's like, "You're joking, right? You're joking."
Dawkins
Dude is fantastic.
put out a stupid thing today. Basically, his latest idiotic thing is that there was this thing where there were some trans women, I don't know, like demonstrating, and it said something how they were going to piss on MAGA, whatever. And Dawkins, thinking he's funny or smart, like he was like, well, males mark their territory by peeing on things, so that this either showing they're really male because they're like peeing on things is a way to show disrespect, you fucking moron. And I'm like,
Wait,
Dawkins, yeah, fucking.
he still has things to say.
So I posted it, and thankfully, the majority of people in the comments were tearing him a new asshole. He had, there's plenty of people, cheering him on and all that, but there was more people tearing him a new one than agreeing with him, which made me happy. But then I put in there, and I think Aaron put, oh no, it's Jeff D. Jeff D said, well, I still like your earlier work.
He's a brilliant man. He's done a lot for the skeptic community. He's done a lot for education. He's a brilliant man. I never would have guessed that he would have become such a bigot, though. Just shocking. Starting with the Muslim stuff.
Yeah, that was the first indication, really.
Yeah, that's when, and it was just like, wait, dude, I wanted your autograph. I don't think I want it anymore.
Well, especially what got me about that is like, okay, it's one thing to point out what radical Islam does, right? That's fair, right? But when you lump all Muslims together, and what I hate the most is when they basically try to straw man an individual Muslim, like, hey, I'm a Muslim, but I don't believe in what those guys that are doing that, but you're foisting that on me. And it reminded me of the conversations that we would have sometimes with some of the Christians where, look, they're stupid atheists too, right? And some of these people were like attacking, like, just say an evangelical, a Protestant with transubstantiation. It's like, dickhead, that's Catholic thing. That's not all Christians.
So it's like a no true Scotsman fallacy. Right. It's just like you can't really be a Muslim if you don't believe in, blowing up buildings for God.
Right.
It's no true Scotsman.
Yeah, and it was just it was so ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, well, one of my great grandfathers was a Muslim. I've got Muslim cousins. None of them blew up any buildings.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you attacking moderates, right? Why are you attacking moderate Muslims and even liberal Muslims? Isn't that what you want? Isn't it you want more of that and fewer of the radicals?
So much, but it's just so ridiculous. I remember getting in on some of the low-hanging fruit and arguments back in the day, and I mean, it got to the point where it's just like, this is just embarrassing now. I mean, not for them, but for me. Why am I going off on this poor schmuck? I don't care what he thinks.
Right. Right.
You know, you want to believe in something ridiculous and believe in something ridiculous. Just keep it away from schools and keep it away from my kids, and we're
Exactly.
good.
Well, that's why Kate used to be on that whole crusade about babies being atheists, and I'm like, look, I agree with, and as I told her, flat, I'm like, look, Kate, I agree with you, but you're arguing with people over trivia that doesn't fucking matter. And the same thing with like she would attack people that call themselves agnostic and whatnot. They were, if you talk to them, you'd find that they didn't believe any gods. They were atheistic, but they didn't want to accept the moniker. And she would call them cowards and call them like, this person is on your side. Why
Person
the
on
fuck are
your
you
side.
attacking them? Like, why are you making an enemy? I said, for that matter, look, there's liberal Christians who are secularists who would be on your side too, and you're attacking them. You're not helping yourself. Don't make more enemies? There's plenty of enemies out there. They'll find you. You don't need to make new ones.
We find you. I remember being at one of the events when Richard Dawkins was a speaker, and he was running outside for something. He was running to his car, and he was literally running through the parking lot of the convention center, and he was running, and I lost it. I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah, I left a comment on that video I told you about. I said I missed the time when you were relevant, and Aaron took him to task too, which was really good. I wish I could remember exactly what he said, but it was basically like, you used to be so great, and you basically destroyed everything you've done. Um,
yeah, like you said, the other guy said, right? I miss I liked your earlier work, and yeah, I agree. Um, it's a shame, you know. Um, what's his name? There's the other guy, um, Sam. Um, fuck, he was another one. Brilliant guy. Total bigot though. Very cocky. I
yeah,
don't
it's
remember his name. He did a lot of Muslim videos, anti-Muslim videos.
well, I don't Pat Condell.
Well, not Pat Condell. This guy was more like an educator. Um,
Oh,
he did a lot of videos talking about how even the moderates are extreme. Um, fuck it, I don't remember his name.
yeah, yeah.
After
But
I turn off the camera, it'll come to me.
no, okay.
Um, so-
One thing though, and although speaking of Dino said some people like to argue. So I forget her channel name. Sam Harris.
Sam Harris.
Yeah. Oh, he's total bigot.
Yeah, Sam Harris.
But and so was what's his name, Dave. He was in charge of the American Atheist for a while.
Silverman.
Silverman, yeah, thank you. He's a
Yeah,
bigot too.
he once he stepped down, his true colors kind of showed, and yeah, sounds like a right winger these days. I
Oh
think he
yeah.
is a right winger.
Yeah, well, he is, and that's the thing. I mean, there are a lot of libertarian atheists who are right wing libertarians, and so they don't believe in any gods, and it really comes down to they don't want anyone to tell them what to do, right? So it's like they don't want religion, they don't want government. Um, but yeah, they tend to be very bigoted. Not all of them, of course, but
Yes, Nadia, Sam Harris, and Sam Harris specifically went on and on about how moderates are extreme. Yeah, you're right. That shows Sam Harris.
which of course is linguistically impossible.
Right, right, right. Like military intelligence.
It's like, and Sam Harris is one of those people that like he's arrogant, and you can play off arrogance as intelligence for a very long time if you're good at it. But he's actually not that sharp. Well, and the proof of that to me is that he debated William Lane Craig how many fucking times, and he never ever took Craig to task about when Craig makes the huge leap from going, okay, I'll even if we could go to, because Craig argues to basically to like a deistic position first, And you're like, okay, he wants to call the prime mover God, deistic, whatever, fine. And then he leaps to his particular version of God. I'm like, how'd you do that? And he never calls him on it. I'm like, dude, the guy willed God into existence by saying God's the best thing possible. The best thing possible would exist, therefore God exists. I'm like, dude, how do you not beat that?
To jump on when it came to William Lane Craig was his argument that babies dying is a moral good. Um, they used to say that we like barbecued babies, right? We ate babies. Atheists are evil. They eat babies. But we're not out there making that point in a debate that it's a moral good for babies to die.
Well, and also, I then brings the question: well, if babies dying is a moral good, why are you against abortion?
Right?
And again, Sam Harris didn't fucking say that. So how smart is he?
It's just like, seriously? It's sitting right there. I mean, was it too obvious? I don't understand how many times that man made that argument and nobody jumped all over it.
Well, and that's just it, because he makes the same arguments every time. And you got to think, if you're going to get in a debate with somebody who's debated a lot, you can go watch what they've done and see what their arguments are. Right. So you should be well prepared for the bullshit they're going to say and be able to tear it apart piece by piece. And if you're supposed to be the paragon of skeptics in the skeptic community and you can't do that, how skeptical are you?
Said about this moral landscape, but landscape is the thing is like everybody talks about objective morality, right? And how something is objectively moral. And non-believers, it's hard to make an objective morality argument because without a God, how do you identify what is objectively moral? There is no objective lawgiver, so therefore you can have no objective moral laws. So morality is subjective. The problem with subjective morality, though, it then becomes the civilization or the society's rules of that particular person is going to decide what is and isn't moral.
But see there, even then, even if there was a God, if God's choosing to make those laws, that's still subjective. It's just all objective really means is that those rules are consistent in all frames.
Just said the lawgiver would immediately render it subjective because it would be subjective to the lawgiver. But I mean, if the lawgiver, though, is God, the first mover, the prime mover, then anything he does would be, from our perspective, our point of view, would have to be considered objective truth, right? And if it's objectively true, it's objectively moral. The problem with that is there is no lawgiver anyway.
Right. Well, the other problem with that too, though, is even if there was a lawgiver, like just because that being, supposedly created the universe, just say they did, why would they get to decide what everybody else, all the people inside do, or the beings inside get to do? And as I like to point out, what I love to point out to believers, I'm like, okay, you got your book, and some other religion has their book, and there's another book. So which book you chose is subjective.
Still, right? Like, okay, if you're going to go with a subjective morality framing, then they immediately always come back with Islamic countries, right? So you're saying it is moral then to stone women to death? Is that moral? Because they think it's moral, and it's just like,
and they think that was commanded them to do it.
I always tripped over. That was where I was tricked, because I am not going to say that it's moral for them to have done that. I'm also not qualified to tell them or to say that I know more about their religion and their faith than they do. Nor do I think that the West should tell those countries how they should and should not act.
I disagree. I think here's the thing. I think you can judge somebody by your own standard or theirs. So usually what I usually try to do whenever I've debated morality with anybody is I try to turn their own view against them. because if they're not consistent with their own view, it shows them that even under their own auspices, they are not moral by their own rules. Um, and I remember, and this I got into a discussion with a friend of mine years ago, and he was like a gaming buddy. He wasn't like a close friend or anything, but he was anti-abortion, and we got into discussion with this. Now he's a lawyer, so mind you, he understands legalisms and all that. So his reasoning was all life is sacred. I'm like, okay, so what about the death penalty? And he was for the death penalty. I'm like, well, if all life is sacred, how can you be for that? And then he started to parse it into, well, the fetus is innocent and the guilty person did something. I'm like, well, one, you're assuming that the person that's convicted is actually guilty of what they did. They're just, you as a lawyer know that innocent people get convicted all the time. But just pretend that we fix that and we always got it right. You didn't say some life is sacred. You said all life is sacred. So now if you want to tell me all life is not sacred and then innocent life is sacred and non-innocent life is not sacred, okay. Because he got sort of getting angry with me, and I'm like, and I'm like, look, I didn't tell you your standard was all life is sacred. You did. That's what you told me. And I said, you're a lawyer, you know this. So if you're going to give me an absolute statement and then there's exceptions, then you already obviated your own absolute rule. You've already said, well, there's exceptions, and that's fine. I'm like, I'm not telling you what your position should be. I'm telling you your position is inconsistent. Well, with your actual position and your stated position are different. So you should sort out the language and say what you actually mean, and don't make these blanket statements that are obviously false in your own head. And that to me is always the best, because when you try to argue morality with someone who doesn't share your morality, you're probably not going to get them to agree. But if you can turn their own morality on them, like one time, my friend Monica, the one I told you about in the picture, the night before she got married, we're out in Detroit area. They were, it was the night before the wedding, and so he and I, a few people were up late, like drinking. I was his bachelor party, and so he's a conservative guy, and he's saying, well, so he said to me, well, who says I have to care for the immigrant? Who says I got to care for the poor person, this person? And I just looked at him, and I went, Jesus. These are like a Texas Christian, and he was like, and his jaw dropped. He didn't know what to say. It's like, dude, you claim to be a Christian. You claim to follow Jesus. Jesus told you to do these things.
As Earl would say, it's in the Bible.
That's right. So you can't duck this one, because you said you follow. I didn't tell you have to follow Jesus, but you said you did. Well, Jesus said, that what you do for the least of my brethren, you do for me. If they ask for your cloak, give them your cape as well. All these things.
I was doing an impersonation of Earl.
Oh, okay, yeah. I missed Earl. Earl was cool.
Sucks. That sucks. Well, I said, I said, you got to be good to the immigrant and to the poor, and don't pray to Allah.
Well, I was sometimes want to ask these people, like, hey, do you have Christmas trees? Because now it's not forbidden, but it suggests that you do not
do not bring them inside.
Like
that's what the pagans do.
That's right.
Yep.
Because these are empty works. So it doesn't say you can't, but it says you shouldn't.
I think other countries' moral police are unpopular both within their countries and internationally. Well, of course.
I agree with that.
Of course. I think the moral police that the United States are going to end up having is going to be very unpopular. I think they'll end up getting shot at.
We can only hope.
I still want to know, where are all the Second Amendment people that were going to protect us from government overreach? Where are they?
Well, this is their government overreach, not our government overreach.
It's amazing, isn't it?
See, they didn't want the government telling them what to do. They wanted the government for them to be able to tell other people what to do.
Telling them, too. I still see people defending this motherfucker like everywhere.
you know, and even though they personally I was looking at, so there's some new thing that he did that's crushing. Oh, I remember this. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Republican in governor of Arkansas, tried to declare a state of emergency over, they had some tornadoes and stuff, made a bunch of people homeless. He turned her down. So all these fucking people will get no federal relief whatsoever. And they're all fucking sitting in the remains of their trailer parks, fucking homeless. All their stuff's been torn to shreds. And he was like, and Arkansas voted for him, like 70% voted for him in Arkansas.
Going to be another election
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't care.
because he's not trying to hold on to his support. He is outwardly not giving a fuck.
That's right.
So that tells me there's no more elections.
Well, this is the reason why was it fucking what's her name from Alaska, and she was like, "Well, people are afraid to speak out." It's like, it's your fucking job, you coward. If you
Yeah.
if because she's admitting there's people behind the scenes, that even Republicans, that are like really worried about what he's doing. Well, then step the fuck up. Stop worrying about your fucking job and worry about the goddamn nation. Well, National Guard are not allowed to cross state lines unless they're federalized, and then even then, I don't think they're allowed, because Posse Comitatus would disable them from doing that. So they can only come in by invite. So if that happens, things are going to get bad, real fast.
Ski, Senator Murkowski.
Yeah.
Murkowski. Yeah,
Yeah.
Senator Alaska lady. Yeah, I saw. I didn't read. I saw the headline, and I thought to myself, well, it's about fucking time somebody is saying this outwardly. But is that all she said, or did she have more to say?
Well, basically, I mean, she basically was saying that, kind of what we've been saying. It looks like we're going down a bad road, and all this stuff. And there's people that are afraid to speak out because of reprisals. Yeah, but and she's basically saying that she would like to speak, effectively, indirectly saying she would like to say more, but she's afraid of reprisals. Well, that's your fucking job. I'm sorry, but that's your fucking job.
That's the thing. I mean, there's the one guy, I think a senator. I think. Oh no, I don't think he's a senator. He might be a representative. He posted something saying that we're with you and we'll lay our bodies, on the ground and or we'll jump in front of the cannons for you and blah 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 blah. That we're fearless. And then somebody responded with a picture of him on January 6th hiding behind seats and says, "Isn't this you?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy, not military. He's not a veteran. He's never served. I am way more of a veteran, way more because I actually did serve. I was never in war in combat, but I served, so I'm way more of a veteran than this guy. And yeah, these are the people that we've elected, collectively. People like that. Well, like what's his face, Hawley.
Mm.
You know, giving pumping his fist to the January 6th protesters. But as soon as they broke through the doors, he ran. He ran like a little bitch. He ran.
Yep.
You know, yeah. Oh, you go, you go. Just don't come after me.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking cowards. We've had what, like one person that's actually in office that stood up, and that's all he did. Honestly, I mean, I applaud what Cory Booker did, but at the end of the day, all he did was stand up and talk for 25 hours. That's it.
Right.
It's not enough.
What else can he do?
He can handcuff himself to something. He can put himself in harm's way. That's his job.
The sad part is he's done more than everybody else.
Absolutely, that is the sad part.
Yeah, I vacillate, Nadia, between calling them the Republicans and the Refuglicans. But yeah. Well, now I really got to get to sleep because I got to get up in the morning. But
Going to, I got no place to be, but this is probably about the time I would have been coming home if I had gone out. So we'll just consider this to be my karaoke.
yep, they are repugnant and repellent, and every negative adjective you can possibly come up with is it will be accurate. It's been feckless and cowardly, vile, evil, bigoted, racist, um, assholes. Yes, Nazis for sure.
Whole Nazis.
So I remember I don't know if I'm going to screw this up, but I saw a thing, and I'm sure you've seen it too, where it was like if you've got a room full of like there's like a Nazi and then 5 other people, you have a room full of 6 Nazis.
So you have four people sitting at a table, and then 4 Nazis sit down with them. What do you have? 8 Nazis at a table.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I knew I was going to screw it up a little bit,
Yeah,
but
it's something that I probably did too, but that's the gist of it. Because, like, yeah, the point is, if they weren't Nazis, they'd get up and leave.
right,
Yeah, it's like the when when he ran the first time, and a lot of stuff he said, people are like, "Oh my God, he's racist." And Hank Green put out a video talking about it, and he said, either he's racist or he says racist things. And at the end of the day, that's the same thing.
right. It doesn't really matter. Well, one codicil. There are people who are indoctrinated that are not what I call active racists, but they spread a lot of racist things because they don't know better.
That's how they were raised.
Right. And unfortunately, and this is actually part of the problem we have today, because what happens is, and this is why I'm always clear, if somebody says something racist, I'll say you said a racist thing. I won't say, well, unless I know the rest. Some of the times it's so blatant, it's like, yeah, I'll just say it. But if it's not the real blatant stuff, I will point out that they've said a racist thing. I don't, and then if they say, you're saying I'm a racist. No, I didn't call you a racist. I said the thing you said is racist, not the same thing. People who aren't racist say racist shit all the time because they don't know better.
People, I don't know what's in your heart, so I can't say that you're racist.
Right.
But I can say what you said is pretty damn racist.
Exactly. And same thing with homophobic, transphobic, all that,
I don't know what's in your heart. And, if they come back with something vile, it's just like, okay, so now I think I know what's in your heart. And now I can say, I'm pretty sure you're racist.
Right. You have affirmed for me to my satisfaction that, you know.
How many people have been like, that's not racist? And it's just like, okay, let me break this down for you. And it's like, okay, wow, well, there you go.
Sexist. And the funny thing about it is, and this is another big part of the problem as to trying to get people to change. So I was at in 2021 and 2022, I went to the Women of Color Beyond Belief in Chicago, and good conventions. And I mostly went just to be supportive. I'm not a woman, obviously, so. But there was one part where I did speak up a little bit, and I said that because they were talking about how men behave and trying to deal with that, and then I said, well, and I made the point that the problem is that no one wants to see themselves as a bigot of any kind, except for the real avowed people. And I said the problem is that the people get defensive because they're more worried that you're going to blame them than worrying about whether or not what they said is bigot. And I said this is something that I had to learn myself. And I said, here I am. I was raised, indoctrinated in a sexist society. It is. I was taught a lot of sexist things, some of which are like the positive bigotry, like, putting women on a pedestal kind of crap. Well, that's still sexist, right? That's still bad. It's still wrong. You're still not viewing people as an equal. You're still seeing them as a kind of objectified. So I had to learn that wasn't the right way to look at things. I don't beat myself up for how I used to be because I didn't know better. I was taught these bad messages. I was given these. I was indoctrinated into these things. I live in a sexist society, and I was indoctrinated into it. All I can do is be better than I was yesterday. So I don't, I'm not happy that I was the way I was, but I don't harangue myself and I don't flagellate myself about it. And I said, I continue to learn. And I said, I still don't say that I don't have any sexist tendencies because I can't tell. Somebody would have to tell me, like I could try, but the more you do a better job of cutting it out, you may still have latent tendencies that you're not aware of that only somebody else can tell you about. Because that's the thing about unconscious bias, right? So I said, so my thing is, so when someone tells me I said something that's sexist or whatever, I try to evaluate it and say, okay, do they have a point? Because they might. Um, and so again, I don't beat myself up. I just go, okay, did they have a point? Okay, now I learned something, and try to behave differently in the future. But I said, unfortunately, a lot of people go on the defensive route, and they want to fight against what you said, and you're like, well, no, I'm just trying to help you be a better you than you were 10 seconds ago. I hear nothing. I'm like Schultz. I hear nothing.
Yeah, it'll be here Friday.
There you go. Oh,
Well,
I heard you now.
it's fucked up. It's all fucked up. David woke up. He's in the bathroom right now. He's back there crying and whining.
Oh, see.
So what I was going to say is, like, some of that stuff, like being like, for all of my like high-minded ideas and equality and everything else, right? I still, I got a soft spot for like the kind of guys I should not have a soft spot for.
Right, right.
I like that alpha type. I just, you remember Autumn and I, we talked about that before she came out, before she transitioned. Right? We spent a long time talking about this, and it's just like, I know I shouldn't. I know
Mhm.
I shouldn't. But like that kind of personality, that kind of guy, the douchebag, I like that.
Mm. Yeah, you know, and now you have a literal soft spot for that. And it's the same thing. Like I think I told you this. Again, I grew up in a society that's homophobic, right? In my life, I don't know. I'm not aware of any time where I ever had any animosity toward gay people, right? But did I use lingo now that I recognize as homophobic? Yeah, I did. Not happy about it. And I think and it took me a while to go with marriage equality. It took me a while to get my head straight on that. So that's why I was like with trans issues, why I think I was more quick to come around because I thought about how I was so wrong on gay issues. So then I said, well, okay, I realized that if I'm wrong, if I have an attitude, a certain particular attitude, and I'm wrong about it, that could hurt somebody. I don't want to hurt anybody. So okay, so now as I hear new things, I'm going to accept them and try to take them on and internalize them and learn them quickly, so that I don't ever go down a bad route.
Trans than they do gay,
Yeah,
which the vast majority of people, it's the other way around. But there are people like, if you're not happy in your body and how you're living your life, and switching to the opposite is better for you, I understand that.
hmm.
But to be with somebody who has the same plumbing as you, that I don't get. And it's like, I get exactly what you're saying. It's like, uh,
The thing is here. Well, here's the funny thing for me. Like, I'm so reviled by male genitals, including my own. I said this a couple weeks ago that like I'm just amazed that anybody does, like straight women, gay men, whatever. Like, hey, anyone who's interested in male genitalia, well, you're an amazing person because you know, I'm like, I'm glad you exist Yeah, I'm just glad you exist. Um, you know, so um,
Don't think I'm a stupid person. I think I'm pretty smart. Um, I don't want to be less than. Um, but man, those guys that are like that, I don't know.
yeah,
Something about it. There's something about it. The dominant douchebag, pro dog.
yeah. You know, the other thing too, and I said this before, I never understood guys that hated on gay men, like straight guys that hated on gay guys, because I'm like,
Is this stupid?
hey, I'm like, that person's never going to compete with you for women ever, ever. I think what it really comes down to, like Bobcat Goldthwait said it like 20, so almost 25 years ago. They're afraid that that person will come on to them and they'll like it. That's what it really comes down to. Because when they always talk about anti when they all can go out there with their anti-gay shit and their anti-trans shit, they always talk about kids being confused. I'm like, no, you're the confused one, motherfucker. You're the confused one.
I know the entire community shit over the whole thing about if you won't date a trans woman, you're a bigot. Um, and I mean, I wasn't on board with that right away. I'm still not completely on board with it because I just don't like the way it's worded. I don't like the way that argument is made. Um, because like people are like, but what if I want to have this or that or whatever, and we can't do that with it? I mean, there are other things other than just attraction, and they're right. So it's like if it's just about sex and if it's just about dating, nothing about marriage or children or any of that stuff. It's just a very, very clear cut black and white. If you would say that you would never, ever, ever be with any trans person ever, then I would say you're a bigot. Because there's no way you can know what every single trans person acts like, looks like, sounds like, that you might find attractive. You have no way of knowing. Um, not all of us sound like me, you know,
Well, I think
and at the same time, not all of us are lucky enough to look like me.
right. Well, the thing is, the way I look at it is this: it depends on like attracted is one thing because again, I've seen many trans women that I find attractive, but again, I'm reviled by penises. So if they done the plumbing, I'd probably be perfectly fine. But I wouldn't want to be with anybody, male, female, man, woman, who's got a penis. I just don't like penises. And there, it's not about gender. Like you could be, um, like if a trans man got a, I don't, I guess they can do a penile thing too, right?
Successful their surgeries are,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
It's probably a lot harder to do that one. Um, but I mean, it's just
stuff where they can blow them up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is like, like well, Buck from like the neck down, but Buck's got scratch. I don't like anyone have more facial hair than me. That's kind of a rule. And again, that applies again regardless of sex or gender. Like um,
It's like there's no way, that you can say that you would never, ever, ever, ever find attractive and sleep with or date a trans woman and not be a bigot for it. It's just you can't because you don't know. I mean, there have been trans women in popular media that were not advertised as being trans. They were absolutely beautiful. One of the Bond girls, I can't remember her name, um, but it was a Bond girl, right? She's trans. It's like in the 80s, early 80s. Um, I can look it up real quick, but not fuck it. But I mean,
Well, here's one thing I know about me. There's one sex worker I used to see years ago, and at some point I saw multiple people online, multiple people accusing her of being a trans woman. If she is, I'm not bothered. But I did the deed. I had no problem with that. So if she is, okay,
Kasi, however you pronounce her name, but she's an actress and she's trans and she was a Bond girl and she's absolutely beautiful. And it wasn't until later that people had basically leaked that she was trans. She posed in Playboy.
Mm.
Dudes jerked off to her picture. Those same dudes would probably say, "Oh, I would never date a trans girl." Bullshit. Manwich still does. It comes with onions and peppers in it, but they're cut so small you can barely see them or taste them. It's like mostly ketchup these days. Nothing as good as it used to be, Clock.
Oh, hey, in that regard, I don't know if you're familiar with Tasting History with Matt Miller.
No.
Great channel, great YouTuber, gay man, and today his latest video was actually the history of sloppy joes, and he actually did a recipe and made his own sloppy joes, and I was like, that's fucking cool.
I gotta look up a good sloppy Joe recipe. I would love to make my own. I just use the Manwich sauce. It's just easier, right?
But it's still not that hard. You figure, you saute some onions, some spices, you throw in some tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Ground the meat.
Yeah, I'll have to do it one day.
Let me find that for you.
Oh, the channel?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Because I watch his channel. In fact,
send it to me on Facebook.
I will. In fact, I'll send you that actual link to that video.
The problem is, I say all the time I'm going to make stuff, and then I don't. I've had, let's see if it's still open. I have a recipe up for, banana bread cake. It has been open on my computer for close to a year. The tab has been open. And I just never do it. Because I'm a lazy bitch.
So I had to look up what the W sauce was. I've never heard of it before.
What is W sauce? Or Worcestershire?
But the yeah, so check out the. Well, see, now that Suzanne's gonna be gone for like 15 days, I'm planning on actually doing some cooking. We'll see what actually happens, but
that's what happens, right?
The big issue with cooking really is the prep is really the tough part, right? So if you're working all day, so I'm gonna try to work from home as much as possible because again, the puppies get freaked out when there's no one here. So if I am home enough during the day, I can get the prep done, and because the cooking is easy, the prep is the hard part. Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe. I'm just thinking here. I'm looking at my. Granted, my hair's longer now, but even the last time it was this long. So I read something just yesterday that apparently one of the side effects of Ozempic is hair growth. And I think I remember a couple of times I even pointed out like, oh, these spotty spots. The spotty spots seem to have gotten less spotty. Go to war with your cat. Alrighty. Well, I've been saying for an hour that I'm leaving, so
Yeah. Oh, it hasn't quite been that long, but yeah, you've been saying.
close to it. But yeah, I need to get going. But been good hanging with you, and hopefully next time with the new mic and new camera and all that, you will be I'll be hear
Still
everything.
fucked
I'll
up.
hear everything you say.
And if it's still fucked up, I have no idea what to say.
Yeah. All
Because
right.
I mean, I've been saying for a long time that I want to come back. I want to make more content, not just live stream, but make actual videos. I made an actual video in a long time, long time. Um, and I would like to do that again. I would like to try to get some, people on Patreon. Right now, I've got one person on Patreon. That's this guy right here. Um, cheers, Nadia. But yeah, it'd be nice to have patrons again. I mean, like I used to get the Amazing Atheist was actually a patron of mine at one time.
Huh.
Um, Coctopus. So I had both TJs were patrons. Then there was what's his face? Why am I drawing a blank? The Galen. Galen was a patron. I haven't. Anybody seen Galen?
He comes and goes. I haven't talked to him in quite a while, but every once in a while, I've noticed lately he'll post, hit this, the story feed using the story feature on Facebook.
Oh
So he's
yeah.
still around. He just hasn't been like talking, communicating with people. But so you be good. I leave now.
Good Good night, everyone. I'm gonna drop out too. And yeah, my hair looks really good tonight, though. Oh well. I am so shallow. Good night, everybody. My Patreon handle is DevShell, DevShell2 or DevShell, but it's DevShell. I haven't logged in there in a while. But yeah. Wait, but wait, there's more. Oh, yeah. Wait, is there a link? It's Raven June. Patreon.com, Raven J. Let's see if this works. Did that work? Close up of this. Um, at one point, I never made a lot of. At one point though, I had like 5 people. Um, one of the people I had on Patreon at one point was Data Jack. I don't know if you guys knew Data Jack, if anybody here remembers Data Jack. He recently died. Uh, he was a big financial supporter of a lot of channels. He liked a lot of the women. He wanted to financially support Peach, and by that time, she wasn't really doing much on YouTube anymore. He was a huge financial supporter of Zomgets, but he passed away a couple of months ago. Data Jack. Um, he was a nice guy. You know, he was a behind the scenes a lot. Again, he was the backer of a lot of different channels. Um, he also helped out with a lot of events and stuff. I know when I held the Madness Mammoth charity events, he was always a big donor. Um, but yeah. Anyway, look at see. This is I'm like close up on the camera. It's too close. Too much. What if I get too far away? You can't hear me. Hopefully, we'll find out Friday. I should actually schedule. I should do that. I should schedule. You're not even making 6 figures? Yeah, I'm not even making 5. I was not dreaming of making at least 5. Wait, yeah. Um, 6 figures. That's a lot of money. I don't know anybody that makes 6 figures. Anyway, I should schedule a show for Friday and do a scheduled show. And I see if I can get Star on. We'll get Joe on again. See if we can get Mike on. Let's try and get Steve Shives on, although he never comes on, but we can always try. Um, who else can I invite just for the fuck of it? Maybe I can invite Octopus. He's a lot of fun. I used to before the 11-year unemployment and homelessness streak. I remember you dealing with homelessness issues. Um, yeah. With my salary and Pizza's salary put together, we have 6 figures coming in. Um, but that's, 2 people. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. I have to go. This is Boobs McGee. Signing off. And I will see you good people another time. And small dinosaur, I will see you at work in a few days. And maybe in the store. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, thank you for helping me pick out ice cream. And I'll talk to everybody here soon. Good night, everybody. Bye.